Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Save Point podcast. We have a very special kind of what we're calling an emergency podcast episode, but not really an emergency, just a episode that we really want to talk about. Some huge news this day, January 18th, 2022, which we will get to. But first off, we always want to thank our partners. So that is the BS Podcast Network. Thank you for downloading us from there or wherever you're downloading our podcasts from. But if you're looking for a great directory of a whole bunch of great podcasts of just different genres, different topics, all of that, check out the bspodcastnetwork.com. And then also on our socials at the Save Point for our Twitter and our Twitch at the Save Point TV. So check us out. And like I said, my name is Dan. I'm joined here by Chris. Chris, how's it going?
Great.
In a word, going great. But we do actually have a special guest, and I'll kind of just let him introduce himself. His name is Mike. And Mike, go ahead.
Well, I think special is kind of pushing it a little bit, but mediocre. Maybe let's go with mediocre. We have a mediocre guest today.
Okay, we have a mediocre guest, but he's a first timer too.
Yes,
First
time caller.
Yeah, there you go.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike. I have been gaming since the early 80s, so I have a vast knowledge of all things useless, and always love to hear some awesome gaming news, and also on the lookout for new games to play, especially in the indie scene.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, what is it? You were the one really, really big one that you were telling me about a long time ago that actually got me into it was Cuphead. You actually got me excited for Cuphead.
Yeah, and they just showed a trailer for the new Netflix animated series today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just today they released the trailer for it.
So, surprise, that's the big news that we have.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
But Mike and I have known each other for a very long time. In fact, we're related on some form or front. And so Mike actually got me into gaming when I was younger. So if my gaming influence started with our guest that's here. So welcome, Mike, and glad to have you here.
Thank you. And I was always jealous of Dan because he had a Sega Master System and I did not.
I was always jealous of you because you had a Nintendo, you had an NES system, and I did not.
Oh, well, then there we go. Equal amounts of jealousy.
Yes, exactly. So, but getting into our actual topic, like this is a huge announcement, and I mean, I'll just flat out say it. Xbox, Microsoft, not Xbox. We got to take that back. Remember, Xbox is a division of Microsoft. So it is Microsoft that has acquired Activision and Blizzard and all the studios that come with it. So that's Treyarch, Raven, High Moon, Toys with Bob, Demonware, Infinity Ward. I can't think of anything else. But I mean, that means games like, or the games that include Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty series, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, StarCraft. You realize that they own the mascot to Sony now. Like the original mascot of Crash Bandicoot is now owned by Toys for Bob owns Crash. So now Microsoft owns Crash Bandicoot
and Spyro.
I mean, this is huge news, not just on that front. But I mean, first off, the number that they bought this company for, okay, or acquired. We have to use the word acquired in an all cash transaction, valued at $68.7 billion.
That's a spicy meatball.
That is. Like, try to imagine that amount of money. It's crazy. Now, I understand that a lot of those things, a lot of taxes and movement of monies and all of that doesn't mean that, somebody's walking away, with a big, chunk in their pocket. Hey, I got, 61 of the 68 sitting in my back pocket. but obviously it gets dispersed through a whole bunch of things, but it's still a huge amount of money. So I think what I want to do, and Mike, I'll start with you with our guest. What's just your overall thought of this? Like, if you had when you heard about the news, what was your first thought that you had?
Well, as an Xbox owner, I thought was a pretty cool acquisition. It's difficult. I'm of two minds on the whole thing. On one hand, I think it's great. It keeps things competitive, but on the other hand, you can get things dangerously close to like a monopoly. I don't know. It's a tough one. Because man, there's not in terms for me, Activision, it's huge because obviously there's a ton of IPs there, but I'll be honest, not a lot of them I play. I'm not a Call of Duty person. I haven't played a Crash Bandicoot game. It's more about getting Microsoft having better studios to work with, which is one thing they've been severely lacking in.
Yeah, I mean they purchased they had a total before this 23 studios, but really how many were coming out with some new IP or even a franchise besides your Forzas and obviously we have Halo and supposedly what is it, Fables in the works right now and a couple of other things. No, I see that and I think that's a really good topic or a good point to bring up is what IPs or what actual games are we getting besides the the outliers that seem to only really kind of be Activision we're looking Activision and Blizzard. So Blizzard's biggest one is obviously World of Warcraft. So, and that's still a PC exclusive. I mean, that's just sitting on PC and probably will always stay on PC. But then you're looking at, Activision's and all of that, what is it? Isn't Overwatch an Activision? And then,
yep.
Was it Call of Duty's Activision?
Yep. Diablo.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
So like those are the big time games. Chris, what about you? What was your first thought when you saw this? Chris?
Uh-oh.
Chris, I think we lost him.
Hello?
Hey, there you go.
Hey, I've been trying to talk. I accidentally muted myself. My thought was like, holy shit.
That's it, just holy shit?
That's a good, yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what the collective internet thought too.
Yeah. In fact, Chris,
see this coming at all. All right. First, I didn't know there was even talks. This was kept quiet about.
Yeah, this one was really quiet.
Like, we heard rumors about Bungie, and we were like, nah, that's not going to happen. And then it happened.
Well,
and we're like, oh, wow, they've spent $7 billion on Bungie.
No, not Bungie, Bethesda.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
It's the same thing happened with Bethesda, and then, but we heard rumors about it. The fact that nobody knew was the shock value of this deal. And $70 billion. You can think, all right, well, they're going to make their money back with just Call of Duty alone in like 10 years.
Yeah,
all the micro.
To a point, yeah, I can see that.
They'll make it back.
Yeah.
But
so
now we're looking at a whole different variety of exclusives that are only going to be on the Xbox. Like, everybody thought the console war was dead. No, we are in the final stretch. We are on the 5-yard line. All right, and it's Sony's turn. What are they going to do? Who are they going to buy? They're going to buy Square Enix. Oh,
so there's your prediction. We were gonna get to that part, but yeah, I think there's a lot of rumbling about and I heard. Well, I'll get to that. I heard an analogy to that, so we'll get to that. But I agree with you. I think, in fact, when I heard about the news and one of our friends posted on Facebook, my actual response was Belushi from Animal House going, "Holy shit!" So, yeah. So I think my take with it. First off, my first thought was good for Xbox, like good for Microsoft. Like, this is they came out and they said that we're going to support games and we're going to do this, and they have been buying things up left and right. I'm surprised. So, like, I don't want to get this into the debate of Bobby, the CEO from there, and all of that. I don't want to make it into that type of discussion, but I think really Activision needed something from all the bad press that they've been getting.
Definitely.
And I think that some form of a buyout of something could help push this correct, because I will say this, okay? And I sent this as a text to Chris, to you, and another one of our buddies today. The CEO of Microsoft, and I can never remember how to say his name.
Phil Spencer?
No, of Microsoft. Microsoft, not Xbox.
Oh.
So it's was it Satya Nadella? I think that's how you say it.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
He actually put out, and I'll read the exact tweet that he put out. Together with Activision Blizzard, we will usher in a new era of gaming that puts players and creators first and makes gaming safe, inclusive, and accessible to all. I'm sorry, but that is a shot. That is a direct hit at the CEO of Activision Blizzard. And basically, he's going to go through, usually, obviously this deal is not happening. It's not like a handshake. Here's a check for $68.7 billion. Now get out of the studio. Like, they have to go through filings. They have to make it public. Like, obviously they made it public today. They go through filings. They go through the government. The government says that this is okay. Blah, blah, blah. It takes a good year for this to happen. So obviously people are going to stay on. But very soon after that, I don't see Bobby Kotick staying any further than that.
He gone.
Oh yeah, big time. So, I think that it's a move that Activision Blizzard had to make. And I think that they found a buyer that will only help them in Microsoft. And obviously, the thing that scares me though with it is, out of all of these things, out of all of these directors, or these things that happen, basically, how many studios are they going to close out of these? You know what I'm saying? Like, are they going to keep Toys for Bob open? Are they going to keep, or are these groups going to be absolved or absorbed into other teams? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Treyarch.
They'll do what they did with Lionhead Studios. Lionhead Studios is no longer here because it was absorbed. Microsoft ate it.
Yeah.
Xbox ate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And before we move any further, we have another person on. Ryan?
What's up?
What's going on?
I wasn't paying attention to my phone until like right now.
Oh, okay.
I saw your message about the show and the invite to join the admin chat all at the same time.
All right. This sounds good. So, everybody, we have a special guest, but not really special because he's already on the show. But we have Ryan here. Ryan, obviously, we're talking about the news of Microsoft
trying to become a monopoly like Disney.
Well, I don't think it's. Oh, I don't know. I mean, like, does this really fall under a monopoly? Like seriously, like we're looking at it right now. Sony has 17 developing studios under their Sony umbrella. Okay. Xbox and Activision or Xbox or Microsoft had 23. Now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They have, so that would be 34.
34.
So is it really a monopoly? I mean, you still have Nintendo that self-publishes. I mean, there's still competition out there.
Here's the thing with again, when you get Microsoft, you can't just say it's limited to Xbox, just the Xbox. It's also PC, because Microsoft is very PC friendly. Because at the end of they are a software company. At the same time, they are also a hardware company and a video game company.
Yep. Well, hold that thought, Chris. Ryan, so the question that came in, since you just jumped in, what was your first thought when you saw this? I know you made the comment about the monopoly, but on a gaming level, what was your first thought when you saw this announcement today?
Not really much thought behind it. Microsoft pulled off another one.
Okay. And this is inspirational quotes by Ryan. No.
No, it's another big grab by Microsoft. Earlier in the year they got Bethesda, and now this.
Yeah, last year they got Bethesda. I want to go. So I get that. I want to go back to what we were just talking about, though. Too, is that the question that I have comes up. Everybody's scared that all these games are now suddenly going to be Xbox exclusives and PC exclusives. I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening for not for Call of Duty. Honestly, I don't see that.
Microsoft's way too smart to make COD an exclusive.
Maybe exclusive content. Like a map or something.
Yeah, I mean, I see that.
There'll always be, of course, there'll be exclusive content. It'll be no different than how Sony with Marvel's Avengers, even though that game is on a downward spiral. Yeah, it's the same as them making Spider-Man exclusive to Sony's version of the game. It'll be no different. They'll just have the game will be for more than just Microsoft systems. They'll just have a really exclusive content for playing on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, back in the 360 day with Call of Duty, Activision had deals where it's like, all right, you want to play Call of Duty DLC? Well, it comes out 3 months before it does on PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, they did that.
I mean, I can definitely see again, with the, Call of Duty, hey, it's good, it's played first on Xbox, and then a month later, it's on PlayStation. Because there's those Call of Duty fanboys who got to get that fixed. They got to get that dopamine fixed. They're going to buy an Xbox.
Yep, you're right. I mean, they got to hit the prestige level before everybody else. That makes sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't change much in that regard. There's always been exclusives.
Yeah, and what I think it's going to do, though, is that it's going to force the hand of Sony to finally accept cross-platform. Like, I mean, really think about it. Like, if they own some great IPs, some great multiplayer IPs, and obviously I'm talking Overwatch, Call of Duty, even Diablo, if you want to throw that in there, as we've been saying, it is going to force Sony to say, we have to start accepting crossplay. The other thing, too, that I see happening, and I'm not saying like next year or in 5 years, I see in the next 10 years that there will be no such thing as physical game copies anymore. I think this is one of those steps towards a ecosystem of, Game Pass subscriptions per se, gaming subscriptions, play this game that you want, pay however you want. If you want an actual owning of the game, you can pay this amount of money and then it downloads to your account and your hard drive. But I think it's going to open up this ecosystem that basically says you can play everything with anybody anytime that you want. Just pick your preferred hardware that you would like to play on.
Yeah,
So,
we've been headed that way for a while, though. It's.
I mean, look at PlayStation. I don't have a disc drive on my PlayStation.
yeah, you do.
Xbox is doing it with the Series S.
Yep.
I mean, we're already 1 foot through the door. This next generation of consoles, if not this one, the next one will be the last one that'll have a disc drive.
Oh, I believe it.
Oh, that's sad.
It is sad.
It is, but instead of getting a handheld game, you're going to get box art. That's what it's going to be now. It's going to be, all right, well, there's going to be no physical games. That much everybody knows is coming.
And it already has happened with the PC space. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I mean,
nobody has a CD-ROM anymore.
Nope.
I think then the next part is, and Chris, you talked about it, but Mike, with you being our guest, I'll start with you. What do you think? Before we get into that, what do you think? Anything blaringly negative that you think this is? This is.
Yeah, the negative. Here's honestly the negative I see is I don't think Microsoft is going to utilize them as much as they should. And to that point, I say, how long have they owned Rare and not done a lot with their IPs? When was the last time we saw a Banjo-Kazooie game? When was the last time we saw? I know they're working on Perfect Dark, but how long did that take them to do that? I don't see Microsoft utilizing these franchises that they own. And that's what they need to start doing. Nostalgia is a huge selling point. And they've got so many different things, especially with this Activision acquisition. I would honestly, and I put this on Twitter as well, I said, I don't care what they announce and what they do, as long as they put Pitfall, the original Pitfall, on Game Pass. Because I love that, and Activision owns the rights to Pitfall. And I don't know, there's a lot of older games too. I don't know if you've ever played this game. It was out on the 360. I think it might have been a launch title. A game called Gun. It was Red Dead Redemption before Red Dead Redemption. And
I played Gun. Yes,
and it had such a great story, and it was great gameplay. It was just a good game. It was a really good game. And wasn't that the game that it said Gun and it was like a yellow background and black lettering? Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good game, and I would love to see that come to Game Pass. I'm worried Microsoft isn't going to do much with it. They're just going to be like, all right, make us some new games, as opposed to make us some new games and let's utilize these properties we now own.
Yeah, well, you might have something because Major Nelson did change his Twitter heading to the Pitfall where he's jumping on the 3 alligators.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully that means we'll get something Pitfall related.
Yep. Ryan, your thought. Blaringly negative.
Blatantly, it's too hard to tell now. We'll have to see how things play out, or if there's any negatives.
Okay, so you're kind of just playing the waiting game.
Yeah, there could be nothing negative about it. It could just be Microsoft just happens to own them now, and not much else changes, or it could turn into another monster entirely. We just have to wait and see.
Chris,
but I do agree with Mike. I do hope we do get some old school Activision games to come out of this.
Yeah, it would be pretty cool to get some stuff. So didn't Activision make NBA Jam?
No,
or was that Midway? That was Midway.
Yeah, that was Midway.
Yeah, my bad.
No, but if you look up Activision's their history, there's some good stuff in there that they could bring back and just throw on Game Pass or something.
Yeah. Okay. Chris, you're blaringly negative. And while you're thinking of that, Chris, they should definitely bring back Skylanders.
See, that's what I want. Toys for Bob, who made Skylanders, I think they did the new Crash game. They should give them the Banjo-Kazooie license and say, all right, get us a new game.
Well, remember they also own Ultimate Alliance, the Ultimate Alliance series. I mean, Pro Fishing, Big Game Hunter.
Oh, those are classics.
So, yep.
The ones you get over at Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah. But no, Chris. You're muted again, Chris. Well, while we're waiting for Chris to unmute himself, my blaringly negative. Ryan, I'm kind of on the same boat with you. I kind of want to see, but I think my thing that scares me with it is, what you're not going to be able to live off nostalgia. Okay, nostalgia will take you so far. I'm wondering, once again, it's to the point of what Mike said. Where are the games? Like, what is the innovation of games that we're looking for, and hopefully going to get? So I'll take for example, Guerrilla was known for what? Guerrilla was known for Killzone, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so Guerrilla Games was known for Killzone. Now they're coming out in a couple of weeks with Horizon, the second version, the Horizon Forbidden West, and Horizon Zero Dawn is an amazing game. It's an amazing IP. So once again, it changes that. I'm going to take another Sony studio. Look at Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch made the Infamous series, and then they made Ghost of Tsushima. What is it? You have why can't? Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog, Crash or whatever like that. Crash is no longer with them, but then you have the Uncharted series, and then you have the Last of Us series. So, like, to me, Sony on their first party, these developers have said, we're going to take risks and we're going to make, new system. We're going to make new IPs. I really want to see that happen from the Microsoft point. Like, how cool would it be to see Activision come out with a brand new IP, or Infinity Ward come out with a brand new IP? Like, that would get me intrigued in this. And Mike, I agree with you. I don't know if they're going to utilize the developers the way that they should. And I think we're going to end up seeing some of these developers be, once again, absorbed or closed. Chris, are you back with us? Chris is not back with us. So I see that happening. What's the next move and I'll go back and I'll go to Sony. What's the next move? Mike, what do you think Sony's next move is?
I don't think Sony needs to make a next move. I think their next move should just be keep churning out their really good games. Focus on Wolverine. Focus on Spider-Man 2. Focus on God of War. Like, their IPs will be able to carry them. Just start announcing more games. I don't think that there's anybody else. Obviously, they have a great relationship with Square. If they were to take a company or merge with a company, it would be them. But honestly, I don't think this is something that they need to worry about doing, especially if Microsoft is just is still going to use their IPs. Like, if they're still going to allow the Sony to their games to release on Sony platforms.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, now we can hear you, Chris. Get 1 second. Mike, you make a great point. I don't see suddenly everything going exclusive. I can't see it. I can't see everything going exclusive. I see that they're going to be publishing, and this is where it kind of goes to my last point, or my other point was, we're going to have this ecosystem of every developer is going to develop for every system, and exclusivity things will be parts of games or add-ons, not actual full games anymore, especially on the multiplayer space.
I can't agree with you more.
Yep. Chris, we lost you a little bit. You're glaring negative, and then give me what do you think the next move is for Sony, if any?
All right, so glaring negative, they're going to screw it while they're going to bring it to Xbox.
You think they're going to screw up WoW and bring it to Xbox?
They're going to try.
Okay.
Think about it. All the kids who, and they're going to advertise it. The MMO that started it all, or you get one of my drift. They're going to play World of Warcraft now on Xbox. And with 30 days free trial for World of Warcraft's subscription.
I mean, they've done it with Final Fantasy 14. They've done it with
Elder Scrolls Online. I mean, They're going to try. Here's my problem with that. If anybody here has played World of Warcraft, key binding. How many keys on your keyboard's key binding? There's no way a controller is going to work.
You never know, but I get what you're saying.
They do have mouse and keyboard support on it.
Yep.
But then you'd have to buy all that extra stuff. So.
But then you got to buy that, and then with the Pro controller, you get a couple extra buttons. Again, that could offset it, but it's one of those things that they're going to try to make the Xbox, the Xbox universe that want to be everything, but jack of all trades, but a master of none. It's gonna. I feel like they're gonna screw this up and make a big mistake.
Okay. So, PlayStation or Sony's next move, if any?
They're gonna try to. Sony doesn't have Microsoft money. That's the problem. So they're gonna try to buy somebody, but they're not spending $70 billion on somebody. They're going to offer, they're not going to go that high. That's the problem. And what Sony has right now that Xbox might have in the future is a great lineup of exclusives. Like, I think Sony's in a good point where they don't have to worry about necessarily buying too many studios. I think, Square Enix, that's going to happen. It's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is it? I can see them trying to do a run for Capcom.
Ooh.
I could see. I mean, let's just be honest. It would be possible for Sony to buy Capcom. If they did that, we might actually see a decent Silent Hill game.
True. One of those kind of surprise ones that they could look at too is Atlas.
That too.
I mean, think about it. All the JRPGs that come out of Atlas. So, thanks, Chris. Ryan, what do you think the next move for Sony is?
I'm with Mike. I don't think their next move is to be anything big. They just got to focus on what they have, and they'll be just fine.
Okay.
Think about the lineup of just games they have coming out in the next year or two. Jesus, they're fine.
Yeah, and if you think about it, there's nothing exclusive that Microsoft or Xbox has even said, and they really can't do anything for the next year. I mean, they can, but what are they really going to do, considering that they still have to go through all the legal channels, and that's not going to happen until sometime in 2023. So, I think Sony's next move, I think we all talked about it. I think there is a purchase of possibly Square, possibly in the future, and this is where I talked about the analogy earlier. I heard somebody use this analogy, and I absolutely love it, is that PlayStation and Square Enix have dated for a very long time. If you want it, put a ring on it. It's like it's they're past the point of dating. They've broken up a couple of times. Square has gone and published on other platforms and not on Sony and all of that, but yet you still come back to each other. It's time. It's time to put a ring on it. So, but I think that's going to do it for this. Once again, Mike, thank you for popping on. And joining us.
Check.
Yeah. Anytime you want to jump back on. Chris, thank you again, my friend, for being with us, and then Ryan also for the surprise pop in. Always great. Check us out once again on the Save Point TV. for Twitch. So that's twitch.savepointtv. And then on Twitter at the SavePoint. Once again, be safe, take care of each other, happy gaming, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
See ya.
Deuces.